Hey guys, this is Gradius here, and this is a video for solving two-step equations. So when we're solving two-step equations, first things first is that we mostly work backwards from the order of operations. So we've always been told order of operations is PEMDAS. Okay, so you do your parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and then finally in the end you do addition and subtraction. For solving any type of equations, it normally helps almost all the time to get rid of our addition and subtraction first, and then we worry about the multiplication and division. Okay, so we're kind of taking the order of operations and we're doing them backwards. So PEMDAS becomes SADMEP. So just keep that in mind whenever we're working today. Now, when I talk about solving two-step equations, I mean equations that look like this. Okay, so we have an equation. The difference between this and an expression, we've been working with expressions before. Expressions would have the 2x minus 15, but there's no equal sign. Okay, equations have an equal sign. So that's the big difference here. This equal sign means now that it's equal to something, we can actually figure out what x is. We can find a value for x. Okay, so this is a two-step equation because it takes multiple steps in order to solve it. Okay, now I know some of you guys can do this in your head, but that doesn't matter. What we want to do is make sure we understand the steps of how to undo addition and subtraction, how we undo multiplication and division. Okay, so this is very similar to a one-step equation. So in the past, you guys have done equations that look like this. You've done equations that look like, let's see, you would have like 5x equals 35. And so we know that 5 times some number x is equal to 35. Well, a lot of us can do that in our head, and we know that, well, 5 times 7 is 35, so x equals 7, which is correct. Okay, but in order to find 7, if you didn't know how to do that in your head, we would know 5x equals 35. And what we would do is to undo this, because this is 5 times x, we would do what's called the inverse operation, which means we would do the opposite of multiplication. Because this is multiplication, to undo multiplication, we would do division. So I would take 5 times x, and instead I would divide it by 5. And whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So when I divide by 5, I get x by itself because 5 divided by 5 cancels each other out. That's the whole reason why I divided by 5, is I wanted to get rid of this 5 right here. They cancel each other out because 5 divided by 5 is 1. And then 35 divided by 5 is 7. And so I'm left with x equals 7. So we're going to do the same stuff over here. What we want to do is we want to undo the addition and subtraction first, and then we want to undo the multiplication or division first. Whenever you're solving an equation, and whenever you do anything, the object is to make the equation just a little bit smaller and get x by itself. So all we're trying to do is get this variable by itself by getting rid of this other stuff on this side of the equal sign. So if I have subtraction right here, 2x minus 15 equals 17, as again, step 1 says undo the addition or subtraction. So what I want to do is I want to figure out, can I get rid of this negative 15 here, this minus 15? And the opposite of subtraction is addition. So I want to undo this minus 15 by doing the opposite, which is plus 15. Now, if I add 15 to the left side of the equal sign, I have to add 15 to the right side of the equal sign. On equations, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So when I do that, negative 15 plus 15 is 0. So it goes away. I could write plus 0. There's just no reason to do that. That's the whole reason why we added 15, is this makes this go away. But I have 17 plus 15 over on this side. So now I have 2x equals, because this goes away, 32. 2x equals 32. Now I have a simple one-step equation like you guys have done in the past right here. And I have 2 times something equals 32. In order to figure that out, I need to undo this multiplication by doing division. So if I divide by 2, whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. Divide by 2, and I'll get x equals 16. These 2 cancel out because 2 divided by 2 is 1, so it'd be like having a 1x, and we don't need to write that 1 in front. 32 divided by 2 is 16. And I'm all done. Let's look at another one. So one thing with solving equations is whether you can do it in your head or not, it doesn't matter. You do have to show all the steps, and I want the work to look pretty much exactly like I'm showing it. So Negative 10 minus 4x equals 34. My goal is to get this x by itself, which means I need to get rid of this negative 10, and I need to get rid of this negative 4 right here. Okay, so what I can do is the first thing I want to do is I want to undo my addition and subtraction. And right away we might say, okay, well, it looks like this is minus 4x here, so I've got subtraction that I need to get rid of. But this 4 is being multiplied by x. So this is really negative 4 times x. This is not subtraction, this is multiplication. So the first thing I want to get rid of is this constant on the outside here. I'm trying to get rid of this constant, and I want to get rid of this negative 10. So the opposite of negative 10 is a positive 10. The way I can get rid of negative 10 is by adding 10, because negative 10 plus 10 is 0. But whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, so now that I'm working on the left side of the equal sign, because I added 10 on this side, I have to add 10 on the right side to maintain balance. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0. It goes away. It cancels out. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get our x by itself. I bring down what I still have left in my equation. I still have negative 4x. I still have this equal sign. This hasn't gone away. And then I have 34 plus 10, which is 44. Now, I have negative 4 times x equals 44. This is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I need to divide by whatever the coefficient is in order to cancel it out. The coefficient is negative 4 here. So I need to divide by negative 4. By dividing by itself, they cancel out and make 1, so they're gone. Divide by negative 4. Notice how I divided by the negative sign, because this is a negative 4, not a positive 4. I'm left with x, and it's equal to 44 divided by negative 4. Positive divided by a negative is negative 11. Let's look at something that looks a little bit different. Now, I have x divided by 9. This is a fraction. We always get confused with fractions, but fractions are just a way to write a division problem. So this represents division. X divided by 9 plus 5 equals 11. So step 1 is to undo my addition and subtraction. I'm trying to get x by itself, so I need to get rid of this 9 somehow, and I need to get rid of this 5 somehow. Well, positive 5, in order to get rid of a constant that's a positive 5, I can just subtract 5, because 5 minus 5 is 0. So I still have my x over 9 here. That hasn't gone away. We haven't done anything with that yet. I still have my equal sign, and then I need to do something else over here, which is 11 minus 5. Whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other side when solving equations. So x over 9 is equal to 6. Now, I need to figure out what divided by 9 is equal to 6. So I have division here. In order to undo division, I'll do the opposite. The opposite of division is multiplication. So, because I'm dividing by 9, in order to get rid of that 9, I'm going to multiply by 9. And then I'm going to multiply by 9 over here. These cancel each other out. The reason why is if I were to multiply this fraction, I have 9 over 1 times x over 9, I'll get 9x over 9. Well, 9 divided by 9 is 1. They go away. So I just have my x by itself. And x is equal to whatever 6 times 9 is. Well, 6 times 9 is 54. So my answer is 54. And I could always take this and plug it back into my original equation to check my answer. So I could take it and go 54 over 9 plus 5 should equal 11. 54 divided by 9, well, 54 divided by 9 is 6, so I have 6 plus 5, which is equal to 11, which is what I was looking for. So that means I solved my equation correctly. Let's do another division one. Y divided by 12 plus 13 equals 10. Again, this fraction means division. Y divided by 12. First step is to undo the addition and subtraction. We want to get rid of this constant in order to get my variable by itself. So I have y over 12 plus 13. So in order to get rid of a positive 13, I'm going to subtract it. I'm going to subtract it from both sides. This goes away. 10 minus 13 is negative 3, so we still have to be careful about our addition and subtraction rules. And this y divided by 12 is still here. It hasn't gone away yet. Now I have y divided by 12 equals negative 3. The opposite because I want to get rid of this divided by 12. And I need to do that by doing the inverse operation, the opposite operation. This is division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So if I multiply by 12, it will cancel each other out. But whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. These go away. I have y equals negative 36, because I have a negative times a positive gives me a negative, and that's my value for y. I could go back and plug this in to check my answer. Negative 36 over 12 plus 13 is supposed to equal to 10. Negative 36 divided by 12 is negative 3 plus 13. And if I do subtract these, I'll get 10. And that's my answer for both of them. Final problem, just one last example just to make sure we've got this. So I've got another two-step equation. Negative 4x minus 7 equals 17. And so now, again, I'm trying to get my variable by itself. And in order to do that, I need to get rid of this negative 4. I need to get rid of this negative 7. So to get rid of a negative 7, I need to do the opposite of minus 7, which is addition. So I need to add 7. And I need to do it to both sides. Goes away. I have negative 4x equals, because we haven't touched this yet. This is still the same, so I just bring it straight down. Bring down my equal sign. 17 plus 7 is 24. Now I get to, I need to get my variable by itself still. I have multiplication here. In order to undo multiplication, I need to do division. So negative 4 times x. In order to get rid of that negative 4, I need to divide by negative 4. I need to do it to both sides. These cancel. I'm left with x equals negative 6. And I am done. Okay, so quick summary. Whenever solving two-step equations, we always want to get rid of our addition and subtraction first, the constants, before we worry about the multiplication and division part. And our ultimate goal when solving equations is to get the variable by itself. That's called isolating the variable. In order to do that, we do the opposite operations. So if I want to get rid of subtraction, I need to do addition. If I want to get rid of multiplication, I need to do division. Okay, and vice versa. So if I want to get rid of division, like what we did back here, I need to multiply. And if I want to get rid of addition, I need to subtract. Okay, and whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side to maintain balance and to make sure that both sides are equal. So I hope this video helped. And let me know if you have any questions. Good luck, guys.